Hello everybody, my name is Cody B and I will be sharing my testimony with you. It all started a little over 30 years ago. I used to live in one of the greatest places on earth. There was no rent, you didn't have to take out the trash, no matter what season it was always warm. It was dark 24/7, so there was no electricity bill, and the best part of all, I had a roommate. His name was and still is Zach. He is my identical twin brother. You see, God's plan was already in motion. After my brother and I were born, my mom and dad experienced miscarriage after miscarriage, and for reasons only he can answer, Zach and Cody Butterball were the only kids to walk this earth in our family. Fast forward 17 years, God arranged for me to go on my first ever missions trip. Prior to this trip, I had not accepted Christ and rarely attended church. It was at this moment in Salyersville, Kentucky, that I realized I wanted Jesus in my heart. Shortly after I got back from the trip, I prayed, asking for forgiveness and asking Him into my heart. From this point forward, I can confidently say I started my walk with Christ. But it only lasted 2 years because I went to college. I fell into a rut, I wasn't reading my Bible, wasn't attending church. About the only thing I was doing was praying. Well, God had a solution for that. He brought Caitlin Peck into my life, and shortly after, her and I were studying the Bible, praying together, and looking for a church. Fast forward 2 years. I graduated college, was engaged to Caitlin, found full-time employment, found Beartown Road Alliance Church, all thanks to some good friends of mine, Derek and Bree Duell. Thank you, Derek and Bree. And I live with another good friend of mine, David Harmon. At this point, I felt like I was on top of the world. I'm thinking, God is great. I'm seeing all the ways He's blessed me. And then I get a phone call. It was my brother. He told me that our mom had a heart attack and died that morning. Words can't describe the amount of confusion that was going through my head as I broke down crying on a sidewalk in the middle of Elmira, New York. Little did I know I was directly in the middle of something God had already planned for. You see, in that moment, I thought I was by myself, alone in New York State. I've only been working for 2 months. My fiance was 3 hours away. My family was 4 hours away. When I look back and reflect on that day, this is how I know we serve a loving God. David Harmon could have been working anywhere in New York State that day, but God had us working together, and David was the first of many hugs that started picking me back up. God loved me enough to make sure one person was there for me when I got this news. Fast forward 1 year. I'm married and we're about to live in the second greatest place on earth, Dave and Jen Bretsch's basement. During the year leading up to this, Dave Bretsch and I would connect for dinner and share in a small group. We built a friendship, and the Lord laid on the Bretsch's heart to have us live in their basement. I can honestly say it was one of the coolest things God had planned. If you would have asked me 10 years prior if I would be friends with a senior pastor, let alone live with him and have the privilege of being baptized by him, I would have told you that you were crazy. Just to recap, I accepted Christ when I was 17, and He's been working on me ever since. We will all go through trials and tragedy in life, and when we do, it's a lot easier if we have brothers and sisters to help pick us up. We serve a patient, loving God that cares enough to help ease the pain when you need it the most. I'm so thankful for this church and the people inside it. I'm excited to see how the Lord continues to work inside our church. God bless.